Hello! Day 20. I have officially made it longer than the day previous. So, let's oh man, my GUI is a bit malformed at the moment. I needed it earlier because I was doing some biome exploration for preparations for how to reconfigure the game. Video settings. Done. Better. Okay. It's a little bit better. So now I'm here, and I need to find out what this thing is all about. Okay, a cube. So, yeah, I guess I'm still technically on the... I see a spawner. Hopefully I won't die doing this. Oh, cool. So this is solid. Okay. How far back does it go? Oh, there's a bunch of spawny things. Now, in all honesty, Oh, what's going on down there? In all honesty... I am likely to reconfigure, if I'm even going to keep this mod, let me tell you this much. If I'm even going to keep this this dungeons mod, then I'm going to have to reconfigure it heavily because I did some exploration, as I had just mentioned literally seconds ago. Of mods because I needed to know what they all were like. And actually, let me show you. A good way to expand the episode slightly. Let's see. Where'd it go? TextMate. Not you. Go away. Okay, so here I have been making a custom configuration for Mo creatures and Biomes of Plenty and vanilla. So what I did was I created nested descriptors. So a frozen is then combined with shore. So frozen shore contains, well, Minecraft, as in vanilla, frozen river, which is a biome. However, frozen plain could be any of Arctic, tundra, or ice plains, and BOP. I'm not sure what BWG is, but XL is extra biomes XL, and right now since they're not loaded I'm not bothering to do it. However, this format would make it easy for others to read and reassign as they see fit. So here, these are all frozen. Then I got cool, and you see there's a repeating pattern: sea, shore, plain, wood, hill, peak. So cool is in not frozen but warm, so temperate. You can see these guys go on for quite a long ways. So that's if I put a creature in this biome, they're going to show up a lot. Humid is in hot but wet. So mangrove, marsh, sludge pit, bayou, lush swamp, marsh, swampland, sacred springs, sludge pit, fungi forest, silt glades, rainforest, tropics, all these stuff. And then arid, which is hot but dry. Because temperate and cool climates tend to fluctuate a lot, I'm not doing hot and dry versions of those. So then here's arid, and then of course I don't really have any sea. I should probably think about that. But shorelines, you got beaches and stuff like that, and then steppe, lush, desert. You can see some of these fall under multiple categories and whatnot. I also have fiery, which is, you can see, not terribly expansive, but it's got the nether things. And also I included volcano and deadlands, because deadlands have like ash and little fires and stuff going on. And hot springs, just because there were pools of magma I saw. Good, not heavily used, and I don't think there are any creatures right now that fall into that category. But later on, should one be added, that like unicorn or use some something like that, it could fall under this category. And right now I have assigned Origin Valley and Garden, Cherry Blossom Grove, Origin, and Mystic Grove under these. Then the opposite, Evil. This is going to become important to how I assign monsters to strictly strict areas. Instead of the whole world, they only spawn in these areas. And actually, there are a couple different ways you can look at this, because evil is more or less for beasts, and then there's a dead category. But swampland, fen, I don't know about fen for evil. I might change my mind about a couple of these. But places that are unusually strange or unusually mystical will be like sort of battlegrounds between good and evil. So you can see Origin Valley and Mystic Grove have both good and evil, and they're sort of clashing. Dead is sort of like evil, but it's more for undead. So like Creeper would be under evil, and with Mo creatures, you'd have things like golems and werewolves. They would be under evil. But then skeletons and silver skeletons and zombies would be under dead. So it's a different set of things. Let's see. Mystic Grove, I think, has all three. So that's like Mystic Grove would be one of the most hostile biomes you could visit. And then I also have Odd for future reference. But Mushroom Island, Mushroom's Garden, because of the giant flowers, Fungi Forest. I wanted to be able to keep things away. I have Wyvern Biome, but I don't understand that. But it is in there. So that then gets crunched down by Python code into a configuration file for setting up, the categories and stuff. Spawn, in the way that the actual mod understands how to read. Then the spawn I'm using just to sort of predefine how creatures behave. So, and you can see I have technically two different groups here. So this is how many can spawn, and here's the minimum, here's the maximum, and I think maybe, I'm not sure if this is the maximum per chunk or maximum number of times it can spawn per chunk. That every single thing I've ever found written about this has been very vague about, but it's referencing the chunk, so I haven't had enough experimentation to really nail it. But so solitary means 1 and a maximum of 1. A pair is a forced pair, so 2 and always 2. A pack can be anywhere from 2 to 5. Swarm is a little bit bigger, 4 to 8. Herd is a pretty solid state, so 10 to 10. And I included 20 in the chunk just in case maybe 2 herds spawn. Maybe that's how it works. Chaotic is much more variable. It could be anywhere from 1 to 10, but there'll only be as many as 10. So like small fish or scorpions or crabs or things like that would fall into that, because sometimes you see them individually and sometimes they're in large groups. And then the second section here, is how common they are, which when you actually go into the configuration files is the first of these, instead of, these are the last 3 and this is the first. Ubiquitous, basically the way to read these is this is how many tickets this creature buys in the lottery. And then the lottery is chosen 1 ticket from the entire lottery per, round, until there's no room left, I assume, in the chunk, or maybe the biome, but I am assuming the chunk. So let's say 1 ubiquitous creature, let's say 1 solitary ubiquitous creature, so it's extremely common, is there. So he has 20 tickets. And then 1 solitary unique creature has 1 ticket. So technically there have been 21 tickets purchased, and there are 10 slots to fill in that chunk. So the odds are 10 out of 10 of those are probably going to be the very super common creature. Maybe this guy will spawn. It's even possible for him to spawn all 10 times, but the odds that his 1 in 21 odds would come up are kind of low. It's less than 5%. It's like 4 point something. So that's how those work. But I assigned them names so that the following thing here could be easier to read. So then, because the configuration files for Mo creatures, because that configuration file splits out the files by mod name, I had to do the same thing. I had to nest them accordingly. So the Biomes of Plenty only has a handful of creatures. I have never seen a glob. I don't know what that's like. So I made a guess. And if I encounter them in one of these places and I see, that doesn't fit, I'll just come back and fix it. So ambient are things like small creatures, bats, insects. Creatures are animals. Water creatures are animals in the water, and monsters are beasties. And undefined technically are the only things that exist at all under that category are villagers and village golems. So, yeah. If we look at Moog creatures, I haven't gotten quite so far. You see, I started out. I figured out for all of them right through vanilla how common I want them to be, and in what sort of packages. Is it 1? Is it 20? Whatever. So I've gotten this far, and what happens is, well, here's how common they are, and how their spawn technique. Here is where you'll find them. So cool plains, warm plains, arid plains, warm hill, arid hill, humid plain. So you could probably, and some of these are just guesstimates. Other people will have opinions. I can fiddle with it along the way. But basically, this and this. So let's say cool plain. Where's cool? Cool's near the top. So cool combined with plain finds, it searches out and finds, well, okay, that means ants can be in these groups. And because it also, I think it included shore, it also includes these groups. So you see the moor is in there twice. Grassland is in there too, marsh. It doesn't mean that they're more likely to appear in those spots. It's just seeking out the list and finding the common set. So in the final set, moor will only show up once. But by seeking through these lists, we find the extensivity of where ants will spawn. And as such, the thing I will be doing soon, you can say I only got through ambience. Creatures, yeah. But when I get down to monsters, these guys are only going to show up in evil, dead, maybe odd. I might pick and choose. Like rat, I might actually allow to occur in a few other places. Scorpion, I might too, because they're a little bit more natural. So they're not evil, they're just nasty. But things undead, wraith, fire wraith, horse mob, I think it's been exclusively undead so far. But then evil things like big golem and hell rat, mini golem, ogre, werewolf and white wolf and werewolf. Those would be under the evil packages instead. So, I could say, well, here, evil plain and evil hill. Maybe evil shore. I don't know if I even have an evil shore. So when I write this in, I'll have to my code here. See, I've only gone so far. This piece of code only sort of packages up in a display, so I can see a report of what's being constructed by all this. To actually save it out to the configuration files as replacements is a step I have yet to do. But stuff like this. So, but then let's say flame wraith, let's say evil wood, and let's say fiery wood, perhaps. So they show up in a couple of places that whoops, sorry, that's not right. Dead wood. Now there will be some zones that fall under both dead and evil wood, and so you could have a place where both flame wraiths and werewolves. I didn't do evil wood. So technically, let's see, evil and dead wood. So dead wood includes sludge pit, fungi forest, silk glades, frost forest, fen, snowy dead forest. But you see, that's evil. Those two are evil, but they're also, they're under dead, but they're also, Jade Cliffs, fen. So it looks like the fen is under both. So in the fen, you can find both monsters and undead at night. Their behavior in terms of spawning at night is still in effect. I might fiddle around to see if I can find a way around that, like maybe the hell rats and stuff, or rats could come out in the daytime, perhaps. But I'm not going to go to such great extents. So that's what I've been working on. But in order to figure out what all of these different zones were like so that they fit into these different categories, I made a new world with very small biomes. I had to fiddle with the configuration. I had to swap them out so that my HardCore wasn't corrupted, with like chunk errors. But I flew around in a creative world with really small biomes, and I studied them. And as I ticked them off and I got like 20, I would go back into the configuration and turn them off so that the only ones that would spawn in a new world are ones I haven't been to yet. And I got them all. And in so doing, I found out that the wide, huge variety of spawns, or these places, these ruins, they're spawning like mad everywhere in every corner in huge volumes. I was really not, like my fiance would say, chuffed about that. It was it was bothering me something fierce to having such a wide, weird variety of things. Tanzanite. Sorry, folks. I don't really need... Oh, iron. Thank you. That's what I was kind of going for. So why are there things floating around all over the place? Oh, good. By the way, I'm going to have nice mossy stone later. Not even cobble. What do we got here? Is this the same spot? It is. Stupid. This is kind of weird. This particular area seems to be hard to navigate. Ow. Thanks for the experience, though. Yes. Now, one thing I like is that you have spawners in these places. Tanzanite, wheat, gunpowder. I'm taking what I can. I'm not going to worry too much about it. What is this? Please don't get me killed. That would suck. Weird. Should that be down here? I can't pick it up anyways. Let's see. Get me back up. So, this place is not easy to navigate. I'm just saying. I have no idea where I'm going. Some of these... But anyways, as I was saying, I saw a lot of variety in terms of... Whoa! Well, I guess we're done here. I saw a lot of variety in terms of these things, and my impression coming away from it was I did not like how frequently they were spawning. And there were also a few I didn't like at all. Like, there were these weird sort of fungal villages in the sky. I didn't appreciate. I didn't like those. They just didn't fit with anything. They were cheaply designed too. Do I really want raw chicken? I don't think I do. I also don't need dirt right now. I could, however, use a boat. Let's do something about that. Hello, boat. How you doing, boat? Hope you doing well. Doot. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. Need to find a place I want to be. Without mysterious sudden disintegrations of boats which have happened before. So yeah, look it up. Look how the spawns are very busy. There's a dolphin. Apparently there is such a thing in the configurations as an aggressive dolphin. But it's turned off by default. What I don't know is, if you turn it on, who are they aggressive to? Like sharks or people? There are a lot of configurations available. But there are also a bunch that are not. And it actually drove me... We have a private channel for discussing this server, or the Deneb server, and of course at the moment we're discussing the new map and what we're going to do with it. And oh man, do I really want this? I'm heading west. That's fine. It's just the ocean's gotten bigger than I expected. And so the frustrations I've dealt with in trying to redesign how Jarks and biomes work for the server has made me want in no small way to... I'm trying to think of a good way to put it. Well, wow. What? It didn't break? Oh, there you go. It's like the one time it doesn't break. So what do you want it to? Regardless. What was I saying? Oh, it made me want to redesign how spawns work completely. And I think it's possible. I could write a mod where all spawns are removed from biomes. They do not spawn by biome anymore. Instead, spawners spawn. And they are somewhat intelligent, and they look like something that makes sense. Like you might have a den, a dark den made out of cobble or slabs or some kind of rock or something. And it intelligently knows, okay, bury yourself halfway in the side of a hill or a mountain. And what this does is it spawns bears or raccoons or something like that. And alternatively, a ruin or small, like a wrecked house, like say here's a small wrecked house or a large wrecked ruin, and that would spawn undead of varieties. Or, if it was sort of like an ominous looking but intact building, like a tower or a magic tower or something, it might spawn monsters. Things like that. Or it might be just a fallen log and it would spawn insects or raccoons or something like that. Things that, places where they would hide. And what it would, hello. What it might accomplish is it would allow the ability to have creatures spawning everywhere, and the locations of the spawners would make some kind of contextual sense. And they might cluster, so you might get a whole bunch of them, or you might just get one here and there, and that would help determine the sort of difficulty of the area. But you could have one biome. Hello. Are you going to leave me alone? You got a little panda next to you. Nice. Seems to be an Arctic zone. I'm becoming more familiar with these as I go along. Ooh, and a crevice. Very nice. Ooh, geez. Serves me right for talking. How does it look down there? See some greenish stone. Ooh, lots of hot stuff. Maybe I should head down there for the evening? Nah. Okay, reeds probably shouldn't grow in the Arctic. Probably not. But yeah, the idea of being... This offers, I think, some distinct advantages. It would just require writing a mod that overwrites or sets aside how spawns work at all and creates the ability for spawners themselves to spawn slowly. Ooh, you're an Arctic fox. Very nice. Very nice. And what are you? You a mammoth? You look more or less like a normal... A small bear. Does the small bear attack? Ooh. How about you? Okay. Don't worry about me. So, apparently these are... Okay, he is... Oh, did he hit the hat that hard? Wow. So... Still following. Still following. See, now I didn't see mammoth in the settings, so apparently I have to take that into consideration. If they're not in the settings as mammoths, then that means they're under elephant, which means elephant is subdivided by climate or biomes, maybe. Which means I should probably include elephants in cold or frozen. I may have to do that. That's going to require some thought. I mean, I see a place over there, but I want to be safe for the night, please. Especially how nasty things can be out here. What else have I got? Not much. 15 is not going to cut it. Man, I might be in some danger. Okay, I'm going to have to tear up the rest of these. Please don't attack me. Please don't attack me. Is there anything out here? I don't see anything. But that over there is going to be slightly dangerous. I seem to be okay for the moment. Oh, geez, that's an ogre. Or some sort of two-headed thing. I don't like that. I suppose I could have just done this. Still. Boink. 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 Whoops. Boink. Boink. Ooh. Put that down. Make some of this. Hee. Okay. Do wraiths come in through ceilings? Oh, well, that's settled anyways. Let me put that up a little bit higher. There we go. So I get a little bit of a fort. It's really slow all of a sudden. It's probably trying to load that thing in the distance. So, here I am. Day 20 is complete. We explored one fort very briefly. It was a bit hard to get around in. Hopefully there are others that are easier. And I showed you what I was up to. So, thanks for watching, and please come again, please, for day 21. And if you wouldn't mind, please like my video. Apparently, when it comes to YouTube figuring out how far up in various what this video is like other videos and stuff, the amount of likes they get helps a lot. So get a little bit of exposure. Okay, good night, folks.